The signal was sent into deep space with hope and fear mixed in every bite. Earth was dying from a strange plague no one could cure. Cities went quiet. Skies turned gray. Leaders begged for help across the stars. Days passed. Then something answered. A silver ship appeared in Earth's orbit, smooth, silent, watching. The aliens called themselves the Xal'ari. They smiled too much, spoke too softly, and promised everything. Medicine, clean air, peace. People cheered, but a few stayed silent. A small girl was taken aboard the alien ship for testing. Her parents were told it was safe, but she never came back. The government said she was fine. But that night, her mother screamed in the rain. They're lying. No one saw her again. And the ship stayed, floating, waiting. The Xal'ari moved quickly. Their ships landed in major cities, and they handed out small silver boxes that cured the plague overnight. People called it a miracle. World leaders praised them, and news channels showed smiling faces. But behind the smiles, something felt wrong. The boxes didn't just cure, they recorded. Every heartbeat, every breath, every detail was stored inside. A young engineer named Malik worked near one of the alien bases. He was curious, too curious. One night, he opened a panel on a box and found a blinking code he didn't understand. He followed it to a hidden signal coming from deep space. It was not a thank you message. It was a harvest log. His hand shook as he read the words, Species 342. Ripe. Begin Phase 2. Malik knew this was not help. It was a trap. Malik tried to warn the government, but no one listened. They said he was paranoid. They said that Xal'ari saved humanity. But behind closed doors, a few military officers began to worry. Strange reports came in. Missing people, silent towns, and Xal'ari ships hovering too long over remote areas. General Harris received a file from an unknown source. It was marked urgent. Inside was a video from another world. The footage showed a planet, once full of life, now burned black and silent. The same silver boxes had been used there. The same promises had been made. Then the planet was wiped clean. That night, General Harris sat alone in his office, watching the stars. His comms device buzzed. A voice whispered, "You're next. Run." The line went dead. And outside his window, the sky filled with Xal'ari ships. Across the world, people started to vanish. Entire villages went silent overnight. The news stayed quiet, controlled by smiling leaders who still trusted the Xal'ari. But in the shadows, a small human resistance was growing. They called themselves the Line. Soldiers, hackers, and scientists who no longer believed in alien kindness. Deep under an old research bunker, they found children taken from different cities, weak, silent, and marked with glowing lines under their skin. One girl opened her eyes and whispered, "They're inside me." Her voice didn't sound human. A scientist backed away in fear. "They're not helping us," he said. "They're testing us." That night, the girl drew a star map in blood on the wall. It pointed to a planet with one word, next. The room fell silent, and far above, the Xal'ari watched. The Line knew they had to strike first. A stolen Xal'ari transport ship became their weapon. Malik, now a key member of the resistance, led the mission. They attacked a supply convoy in Earth's orbit, fast and quiet. Inside the crates, they didn't find medicine. They found stasis pods filled with sleeping humans, hundreds of them. Some were still alive. Some weren't. One pod opened by mistake. A man inside screamed, "They were draining us." Before he could finish, alarms rang out. The Line escaped with a pod and a strange glowing device. Back at the bunker, a captured Xal'ari was forced to speak. It didn't beg. It didn't lie. It simply smiled and said, "You asked for help. Now we finish what we began." The lights flickered, and the girl in the corner whispered, "They're waking up." Earth was no longer a home. It was a cage. The skies were filled with Xal'ari ships, their shadows falling over every city. But the line was ready. Using stolen alien tech, they built weapons no human had ever seen before. Plasma rifles, stealth fields, neural disruptors, all powered by the very machines meant to enslave them. Secret bases across the planet joined the fight. Colonies on Mars and Europa sent soldiers. Earth stood united, not in fear, but in fury. During a raid on a hidden Xal'ari vault, Malik discovered a file labeled Species 342, Hostile Upgrade. It was a warning, sent to the Galactic network. Earth had just been marked as a Class 10 threat. The message ended with one line: "Humanity has shifted. Do not engage without extreme force." The war had changed. And this time, Earth would strike back. The Xal'ari knew humanity was resisting, so they came in force. Their warships blocked the sky. Their drones filled the streets. Cities turned into battlegrounds. But this time, Earth was ready. The line led surprise attacks, disabling alien towers, freeing captured humans, and spreading the truth. Even untrained civilians joined the fight, using whatever weapons they could find. In the middle of the chaos, a human fleet returned, once thought lost. Their ships were damaged, but they dragged something behind them. It was a dead Xal'ari godship, miles long, its hull cracked open. The crew said they had found it near the galactic edge and destroyed it using hacked alien tech. People on Earth saw the floating corpse in the sky and cheered. For the first time, fear changed sides. The Xal'ari began to pull back, and humanity pushed forward. Humanity's resistance grew stronger every day. The line had gathered allies from across the galaxy, once silent colonies now rising in rebellion. But Earth was the heart of this war. Malik and the other leaders knew this was their last chance to end it. They had discovered something buried deep within Xal'ari technology, a weapon capable of disabling their entire hive mind network, the source of their power. The only catch: the weapon was hidden on a distant moon, protected by a fleet of Xal'ari warships. A daring mission was launched. As human fighters flew past enemy lines, the Xal'ari began to panic. They hadn't expected such defiance. As the moon's surface shook from the battle, a voice echoed in Malik's ear: "This is the turning point. Either we win, or we die." In the chaos, the weapon activated. The Xal'ari's communication system faltered, and the galaxy watched as their once unbreakable force began to crumble. With their hive mind shattered, the Xal'ari were no longer a united force. Panic spread among their ranks as their once coordinated attacks turned chaotic. On Earth, humanity saw an opportunity. The line launched a full-scale assault on the Xal'ari capital, a sprawling city built on an alien world. Malik and his team led the charge, armed with the stolen weapons and backed by the courage of millions. As they breached the city's defenses, they found a strange silence, the kind that only comes when a species knows its end is near. Deep inside the capital, they found what they were looking for: the central mind core of the Xal'ari. Malik approached it, a cold dread in his chest. The voice that spoke to him wasn't alien. It was human. "You thought we were your enemies," it said, "but we were the beginning of your downfall." The core exploded in a burst of energy, and the Xal'ari scattered, defeated. The war was over, but the cost of victory hung heavy in the air. Humanity had become the galaxy's most feared force, and the Xal'ari would never forget that. The war was over, but the galaxy would never be the same. Earth stood tall, not as a victim, but as a force of power. The once feared Xal'ari were broken, their empire in ruins. Humanity had not only survived their betrayal, but had emerged stronger. Across the stars, the message spread: never again will we ask for help. Never again will we be weak. The leaders of Earth broadcasted their victory across every communication channel. The last time we asked for help, we were betrayed. This time, we didn't ask, and we took what was ours. Now, The galaxy knows. We fight for ourselves. Humanity's reputation was forged in fire. No longer just survivors, but warriors, feared and respected by every race. And while peace returned to Earth, the eyes of the universe were on them. For they knew now that the humans who had once pleaded for help would never ask again. The universe had been warned, and it had learned. Never underestimate the power of a species that's been pushed too far.